All right, Payal, it's on. I'm going to close this door, but I'm pretty sure my son's going to come back in. Okay. So anyway, welcome back, everybody. This is, it's like the day after Thanksgiving, right?
The day after Black Friday.
Black Friday, and, damn, I didn't really get the mail this year, but eventually we will, as soon as my old man gets out of the hospital. Alright, my son's back. Close that door. Alright, so yeah, we're, so anyway, like, I bet you, it sounded like you got a pretty good meal yesterday. Got all stuffed up.
Oh yeah, I had a good amount of turkey.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to that for so long. Like, I don't know. There's something about this entire year how everything has been in question. Like, I don't know. Like anything you do, any normal activity, quote unquote, any normal activity is like second guessed. Like, oh, should I do this? Is it safe to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's just been kind of a shitty year. So, I've kind of been looking like my family. We do Thanksgiving pretty hard and Christmas pretty hard. Like, I want to say in 34 years, like how long I've been alive. No, hey boy, no. If you're gonna watch TV, you gotta go out. All right. Hold on. What was I saying? Okay. All right. Go on. Close it. Okay. What was I saying? That was hella distracting. All right.
About Thanksgiving and.
Oh, okay. So me and my family. What the fuck is that?
What I would add is, and who does that serve?
Is that me?
It must be you.
So in that, I still reserve.
I don't know where that voice is coming from.
To talk about my life, but Robin, thank you so much.
Maybe it's my TV. Okay, I think it was me. Yeah, my son. We got a TV in this room, and my son came in and turned it on. He's like, "Fuck it, if you're recording, I'm just gonna watch some TV here." Yes, all right. So every year, I'm saying in 34 fucking years, I think I've missed Thanksgiving maybe twice with my family.
Oh.
Like, we do it hard. Like Christmas and Thanksgiving, we come back together, and no matter what we're doing, no matter where we are, we come home to Coalfields. So this year's been so fucking shitty. Like, I feel so disconnected from everybody. You know, we're all wearing masks. Can't see anybody's face. I'm second guessing everything, and then to know that Thanksgiving was coming, I was like, man, I was looking forward to it. Like, not just the meal. Like I do always kind of look forward to like a good home cooked meal. But what I was really looking for was just coming back together and trying to celebrate something versus being afraid of something versus second guessing shit versus, you know, wondering whose life I might be endangering if I'm not wearing a mask, or, you know, is this simple thing that I touch every single day going to kill me today? Like, is there something wrong? Like, you know, what we're describing, I kind of feel like we're taking for granted our safety here in America, because I'm sure there's tons of people in other countries where they feel this way all this entire time. You know, they're not safe at all on a day-to-day basis. You know, when's the next bomb coming? When's the next attack? When's the next, you know, I don't know, what, jihad? You know, when's the next horrible thing going to happen? And it really becomes, you know, they say we can adapt to anything as humans, and like a lot of people have adapted themselves to being in danger and afraid, you know. And maybe maybe it's so bad they're not even afraid of it anymore. It's just like, oh, that house just blew up. Well, at least it wasn't mine, and then they go about their day. So I think with this whole virus thing, we're getting a taste of that. And for me, man, like I've been looking forward to this holiday. So for everything to kind of go south, like the day before we're gonna throw down, it really hit home for me. So I just can't wait. Like we as a family, we're putting off Thanksgiving for a little while until everybody can be there. Like my dad's in the hospital, my sister and her dude. I think my sister got sick, and there's a good chance her dude got exposed to COVID because he went to a funeral. And, you know, part of me wants to be mad about that, but at the same time, it's like, fuck. We as a tribe are a group of people that really, you know, like to pay our last respects when somebody dies. So I can't really blame him for going. You know, like if he knew him and cared about these people, he would go. But, you know, it exposed him. And I don't know if he's got it or whatever, but like, all it really meant is, like, the bottom line was it meant we couldn't come together. And that fucking sucks, man. It's just like one more thing that this shitty year has provided for us. Just a fucked up time, you know? So I'm looking forward to Christmas now. You know, I'm looking forward to maybe next year. I feel like this entire year has blanked out.
Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Take
it easy for us,
man. Like, don't be too upset if you don't get that gift you wanted, bro.
Socks again. Underwear.
Yeah.
And they're going to be all nice. They're going to be all nice, like, thanks. Oh, you shouldn't have. No, really, you shouldn't have. That calls for a beer. I'm going to crack a beer here.
So.
Okay. So yeah,
that's pretty heavy.
It's yeah.
But no, that's, thank you for sharing that. You know, that's
my own personal, therapy session here.
And how do you feel about that?
Nice. Oh, God.
So,
how do you propose we go about taking care of this situation?
And what are the expectations of Christmas don't happen?
Interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll come back to this. But first, how do you feel about it? How does this make you feel?
Man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I was already kind of a year out in a way. So I mean, I guess we're getting, but you know, those things that you look forward to,
yeah,
don't really come through. And I think that's kind of a good segue into what we're talking about today.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of.
Good job.
Maybe things that we got to always take advantage of and have in our time, and then suddenly they're not available for the up and coming.
Yeah.
I don't know. Participants in the world where, you know, certain theaters aren't open anymore, or good places to get pizza are torn down. I don't know. It's just, I think we can go all over with this topic, but
well, what is the topic, Sky?
The topic is well, you're calling it vegan. Yeah, you were supposed to. You were supposed to set this up, man.
Let me take the wheel here for a second. Here.
Yeah.
All right. So
you took us into that.
This episode.
That trench, and then I got it out, and then...
I did take it kind of deep and dark, didn't I?
So, yeah, go ahead. Now.
Okay, so the other day, I was riding from Tucson to Coalfields with my mom, and we started talking about stuff that is no longer here. And so it kind of inspired this idea in me. Hold on, I'm reverberating here, and I don't know what it is. Something's... Alright, it doesn't matter. So we were on our way home from Tucson, and we started talking about stuff that is disappearing. And like now that I'm a dad, I'm always thinking like, oh, what do I want my son to experience? Excuse me. And there's a lot of things that I experienced as a kid that he will never know anything about unless I tell him about it. And even then, he can only picture it in his head. So the idea for this, and we talked about it last weekend, I think it was, where I was like, all right, let's do an episode that we're going to call the Bygone Era. So things that have an era in our lives that, you know, we did all these activities, we went to all these places, and now they're gone, or they're on their way out. So a prime example. A big part of my childhood was going to the swim park, and it was called Justin's Water Park. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, Justin.
Is it Justin?
No, Justin.
As a kid, I always mispronounced it.
No, it was Justin. Justin's, I think it was Water World.
I called it Jetson's Water World, or something like that, like the Jetsons. That's gone too. All right, the cartoons are gone too. But so I think it was like every summer we went at least twice to Justin's Water Park, and like even now when I'm thinking about it, like I don't think there are any water parks in town. Like there's a few parks with like a water pad where kids can go and like play in the water on a water pad, like a rubberized pad with all these sprinklers on it.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but there's no swimming. So I mean like you can always take a kid to the pool. Let's go to the pool. Let's go to my apartment and go to the pool. Let's go to so-and-so's house and let's go swimming at their house. But that is not a water park. There's usually no water slide. There's no fucking big super tower scary ass slide. There's no deep pools. There's no lazy river. Like, I remember going to Justin's, like, it'd be hot as fuck. Like that. I think that's one of the clearest memories is it was always hot as fuck, and I never remember to bring my damn slippers. Like I would always be like running across the gravel with my feet on fire, which is crazy. You figured it was an old school ass place. Like I think these people, this Justin guy, whoever, I think they built the park themselves, and then just had people come. You know, like I remember when we would leave, my feet would be raw, like my toes, from like pushing on the ground. You know, like pushing myself around in these pools. And it was because there wasn't a smooth-ass surface. I think it was somebody went out there and slapped all this shit together with cement and then painted it. Because it wasn't like... I guess if you went to a place like a Disneyland, like a really full-scale national water park, everything's going to be thought of, everything's going to be done to code, I guess, and smooth or whatever. All these things that were taken into account. But this Justin Water Park, it was like a dinky little thing that this family made, and I remember going there all the time, and damn, it was great. Like I couldn't tell you how much piss I was swimming in, but like it'd be fucking packed, like just full of people. I think I loved the lazy river the most because like they had all these inner tubes, and you just hop on and ride it. You know, there'd be like a small current, and like. I think about that now, like, maybe shortly after that, Breakers came out. At some point, like, I think I was a little older when Breakers opened up. And I swear to you, I've never been to Breakers.
You never been there?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're gone too now, aren't they? Breakers Water Park?
I wouldn't be surprised if they were, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were either.
I'm pretty sure they shut down.
Probably. Yeah, there really isn't a lot of, or maybe they're more hidden, but yeah, Justin's Water World is the spot to go when you're, even too, like in Sales, they had a swimming pool for like the beginning of my childhood, but then they closed it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it became a frog lake.
Yeah, but I remember, that kind of fits the, it wasn't like Justin's Water, which was way more fun, and they had a lot of slides and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember we would go as our community, all the kids jump in the van, and
that's cool.
we would go there. Yeah, I can't remember when they closed it, but
damn. I think I would venture as far as to say it was in the 90s.
You might be right.
Like maybe early 2000, but like about 2000, I got into high school and I don't remember it being there. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember ever being at Justin's Water Park as a young adult. Which is just fucking sad. Like just thinking about it right now, like my son's never gonna know that unless I take him maybe out of state. I mean, there might be something up north or something. I think there is.
I think it's more it's not going to be the same place where I went.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because we can go to. I'm thinking of, but it's not even like SeaWorld or.
Yeah.
I don't even think SeaWorld is more. It's not really like pushing slides and stuff. It's more like.
It's more like a interactive
look at the animals there.
Yeah, it's like a zoo.
Yeah, never mind. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it was. Is just not able to keep up the codes and.
Yeah, maybe. Or attendance started dropping.
I don't know. Or they weren't charging as much and.
Something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of.
See, that's the thing too. I don't ever remember paying, so it's like that's the age I was. Like I was still at the age where I just assumed everything was free because shit was being paid for me. Like, kind of feel bad now that I think about that. Like my parents were shelling out money to get us into this fucking park. It's a trip. It's a trip just to think about all of that. Like, I went there year after year. And it was like I remember being there as a little kid. I remember getting a little older, where I got a little independence, where I could go by myself and go swimming, and I would make friends with all these other kids there, or whatever. Like just, hey, you want to be my friend? Let's be friends, and we'll swim together and play and all that. And then I got older, where I was like, yeah, I want to go on that super tall slide. I want to. Where as a kid I would never dare go there because it looked scary as hell, and then I got older and I wanted that. I'm like, yeah, I want the rush. Give me my little foam mat, and I'm gonna hop on this bitch and go down, and it'll be fun. Like they had a little something for everybody, and now that shit's gone. It's fucking gone. My son will never know the wonders of Justin's Water Park. It's just a sick, sad thing to think about. Do you have any memories of being there? Like a story?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying. I mean, I remember going down the slides and riding the inner tubes and.
Yeah.
Breakers, I remember. But I just remember like going swimming when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I think any time that you could get in the water, it was, you made the most fun out of it. So
yeah.
Yeah. I just remember it was being packed. Just a bunch of people. Just everybody having a fun time. But no, I don't remember ever like really eating there.
Huh.
Like they did not have like.
I feel like they did, but I don't. But now that you mentioned it, I don't remember eating there either. I feel like they had like burgers and fries and hot dogs, but at the same time, no. Like there were tables. You know what we would do? They had tables, and we would bring like picnic shit.
Oh.
So I do remember eating there, but I don't think they had like food stands. Maybe that's where they fucked up. Maybe that's why they went under to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't have the full service, you know.
But we're thinking like in a time when kids still went outside.
That's a bygone era right there, man.
But it's almost like you gotta kind of have both options.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more stuff popping. I just like bowling and kind of. You want to go swimming or want to go bowling? That's a tough choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember it being outside and wanting to just go down all the slides and being out in the desert,
Yeah, hot as fuck. I feel like it was only open during the summertime too.
You might be right.
Like thinking back, I think the only real clear points besides the actual rides that I remember that stuck with me was burning the fuck out of my feet, scratching my toes raw, and I think once somebody went down the slide ahead of me and they shit on the slide. It was like a little short slide, and they fucking went down, and all this brown came out of their pants, and it went all the way down went from the top to the bottom, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm not going after him.
Yeah, man, maybe it's got too much to keep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot to manage, but then it's not even all year.
Yeah, you're right.
It's kind of seasonal, too.
That's that, man. Still though, I think the strange thing about wishing a business stayed open is you kind of gotta go and participate. You gotta go and pay. And I stopped going at some point. We stopped going. Maybe we stopped going because it closed, but. The next place I want to talk about is Little Tucson or Old Tucson Studios.
That's closed?
Yeah, dude.
What about Nightfall?
I feel like they still did it for Nightfall this year.
Huh.
Or at least no, because I was talking with my buddies and they were going to the slaughterhouse.
Because Nightfall was closed?
Maybe. I think they could make a lot of money on Nightfall, like if they just open for that. But last I heard, they declared bankruptcy and that was it. Old Tucson Studios is gone, people. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure we got people in Ohio now listening, and for you guys. Or anybody else who doesn't know, fucking Old Tucson Studios was like a kind of little small theme park, and it was based on the Old West. So they have fucking live shows of like gunfights between cowboys. I feel like they didn't go so far as having cowboys and Indians, but they had cowboys doing shootouts. They had carriage rides, horseback riding, old school like Ford. What do they call them? The original Ford car.
Bronco?
No, the T40 or something like that. The Model T. The really old school cars. You know, they let the kids drive them on a rail. And then they had like a little mini locomotion train. And then they just had like this old like ghost town style tombstone looking town.
Man.
Like all the old shops, the apothecary, you know, I think they had like a Lincoln show. They had like an animatronic show. They had like a miner show, like a miner ride. There was a ride. I rode it a while ago, and that shit was creepy as fuck. I went with my nephew Daniel. Thank God he got to see it. Like Amadeus isn't gonna get to see it, but Daniel, he got to see it, and I think it freaked him the fuck out. It kind of freaked me the fuck out. Like, it was a dark ass old school ride, and I guess you think about it, like a lot of those old school rides, they weren't worried about the little softy babies are gonna freak out. Like they made some badass scary rides, and Nightfall. Nightfall, for anybody who doesn't know, that's like their Halloween season for old Tucson studios, and they'd have zombies walking the park and like butchers all bloodied up walking around. Everybody be dressed up Halloween theme, and they'd have haunted houses. You know, like that's gone, bro. It's no.
That's weird because it was like. Last year they had it.
Yeah. So they did last year.
Yeah. It's funny we bring it up because I kind of use it as an example coaching because there was this time where the kids had the option to go to Nightfall. And it was the night before the championship and the tournament. But, you know, if you did it well, you got to play in the championship. And I tried to tell them not to go. And they went, and they still went.
So what you're telling me is you're part of the problem. No.
No, they went.
To Nightfall.
Yeah, they went. And the next day, they were very tired, and I asked them, like, hey, if you changed your mind, some of them actually said they wouldn't go because, coming to the game fully charged was nicer than tired and questioning yourself. But that's a little side note, but I remember that Miners Trail had, like, they called it, like, Fool's Gold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You could say not to touch it, but...
You could pan for gold, wasn't it?
Yeah. But, you couldn't take it, but... I just remember my older cousins, I think that's what made us want to go when we were younger, was because, my older cousins would say they would steal the gold. And they would show us, I mean, it was fake gold, but they would still be like, yeah, I took it. And they would just be like, man, I want to go now.
Wow. And you're like, damn, I want to go steal some gold.
Steal some fake gold.
Jesus.
But, I know there's some movies that were made there as well.
Yeah, you know what? I think parts of Tombstone might have been filmed there. No, maybe Tombstone was in Tombstone. They recorded.
They might have did both.
They did parts of the Three Amigos. Was filmed there.
Yes, this is awesome.
Yeah, all of them from our tribe were in it. As Mexicans. I don't think they were natives in the movie. I think they were like Mexicans.
That's funny. It feels like you had a closer relationship to the place than I did.
We went there a lot.
Yeah, I didn't go there as much.
I think what it was like kind of like what you were saying earlier. Oh, you can go bowling or go to the park. Every now and then we go there. Like it was like something to entertain the kids, which I think us as adults are not doing as much. I don't think we're entertaining the kids as much. You know what I mean? Like we're not taking them out on these vacation trips, or let's spend a day at Old Tucson Studios, or go to Justin's Water Park, or let's go to Breakers. Like I think people are still trying to entertain their kids, but it's a whole different story now. Like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's like they could be entertained by their YouTube on a tablet so much easier, and we tend to do that first.
Yeah.
And like these places exist. They were built to entertain. And I think also it was like a tourist attraction. The Old Tucson Studios. Like if like I used to work as a valet in my teens, like right out of high school, I worked as a valet at a Marriott out in the mountains, so it was expensive as fuck. And all these tourists, they'd be going there for like the gem show or whatever. And hey boy, you gotta close that door. And so people will be asking like, hey, where can we go for entertainment? We want to kind of know about Tucson. We want to do Tucson stuff. So we would send them to the casino. We'd send them to not Justice Water Park. We'd send them to little what? No, you gotta go out there. I'm doing this, boy. So like when tourists would come, they'd be like, hey, we want to experience something that's only here. And we're like, oh, go to Old Tucson Studios, go to the Desert Museum, go to the International Wildlife Museum. Like these are places where we'd send people so they could get a taste of Arizona / Tucson. Or the desert, the Sonoran Desert. So I'm kind of surprised. Like when my mom told me, I don't even know if it was my mom that told me, but somebody told me that they were going under. Like their business had dropped, and it got to the point where they're shutting their doors. And I don't know how long they've been there, but fuck, they've been there since I was a child.
Yeah.
Like all these places, I've known them that long, and we went like almost every year. So it was like for me now, 34, and I got a son, and I'm thinking of like things I want him to experience for himself, or to just get a taste of something different. That's two so far on our list. Two less things that he can experience. He'll never know the same things that I know right now. It's pretty fucking sad. Like when I was told that Old Tucson Studios was going under, I was just like, what? Like, no fucking way. They've been there. They're an institution, and now they're going away.
It almost be a museum.
Huh?
I can almost see it becoming a museum. But I also can see it as them milking it hard for Nightfall.
Yeah, going all out and just opening it up for Nightfall. I'm trying to remember if I saw any Nightfall advertisements this year. And I really feel like I didn't see anything.
Yeah, it's maybe the location as well.
Yeah, well, that might be a big part of it, is that it's out there on the outskirts of town.
Mm.
But I mean, you kind of have to have that. You like town is so built up. Like cities are so built up. To build something new or have some like a big property with like a theme park on it, you kind of gotta go and find some undeveloped property. And when you're inside of town, man, that's far and few between. There's very, very little available for that kind of development.
Mm.
All right, so can you think of any other place like when you were mentioning pizza? I thought about Mama Louisa's over there at the U of A. Mama Louisa's Pizza.
That was a Mama's Pizza?
Well, it's Mama's, but that's what it was Mama Louisa's. It's Mama's, like all these. There's still, like, I think 2 in town.
Yeah.
But that was the one I used to go to.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The one
I remember going to get a slice with my mom, and it was like they were shutting down. You know, like we knew they were still open, but we knew they were gonna eventually close.
Yeah, giant pizzas.
Yeah, I mean it had that classic pizza parlor vibe. You know, they had the arcade games and
a couple arcade games.
But I mean, I think what I remember most is just how huge the slices were. You know, massive pizza slices, and I remember you had to kind of walk down into the store or into
it was buried. It was buried. Like I think it's around. You know the main strip of the U of A.
Yeah.
Where there's like General Benz and all that. It was that general area, but I think it was a little deeper in where I think they got a Jimmy John's there now, and maybe not in the same area, but that little block that it was buried in.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to find. Like it's just not there anymore. But like I remember it was like a treat, like a little special thing, the giant fucking pizza. I want to say it was like $30 or $40, or maybe even more. Again, as a child, I took all that. Excuse me, I took all that for granted. Somebody else was paying for that shit. You know, I just showed up and ate. but it was like a treat. Like if I was on a team and we won or something, then, you know, we would go and have big pizzas. Or like if it was my birthday, I spent a couple birthdays there where we went and got a big ass pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a treat. And maybe that's why they didn't last that long, because, you know, people were buying it as a treat, not really like, hey, let's go get some pizza. Then they hit Domino's or Pizza Hut, and all those places still exist now, but not Mama's, or at least not that location.
Yeah, well, just that area in general, you know, so we can put a high value on it, and
it's changed.
I mean, and then at the time they weren't as, because their brands still continue to grow, even though they tore it down. Like they still existed.
They still do. I know there's 2 now.
Yeah, I know. So I just felt like they moved their shop, but, you know, it's never going to be that same shop.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that until I mentioned that.
Yeah, well, me too. I was thinking about places like that are no longer here, and you mentioned going and getting pizza, and I was like, oh fuck, Mama's Pizza.
Man. For me, pizza shops or pizza spots that aren't there anymore.
Would you call Pizza Hut a pizza shop? Is that what you're saying? Like, is it different?
No, I don't even know why I'm saying that.
All right. Well, you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah. Well, what did you have?
The next one is the fucking drive-in theater.
Oh.
The Dianza drive-in theater. That shit's gone. It's been gone for a long time now. Like what? Well, go get one. Yeah, like that. I remember I saw a couple of horror movies. I think I saw, what the hell else did I see there? We used to go and, sneak in food, whatever. We'd all pile into the car. We'd go pick up our cousins and we'd go and, do our thing. Hey, boy, there's a bowl up there right there. You can see it. Go get it. And, yeah, like I can't even remember when that thing went down. Like, even when it went down, the theater was still there.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of stayed, and then I think at some point they tore it down. And now there's like a fucking, that was like Alvernon and 22nd, I want to say. And now there's like a DES there. There's like a DES and there's a gas station and a car wash, but the fucking drive-in movie theater is gone, brother.
Wow. But even when it was in Tucson, it felt like it was barely hanging on. Like it was more of a pastime.
Yeah.
In another generation. Like people would go to the drive-in.
Let's go watch a movie all nostalgic and shit.
Yeah.
In the drive-in.
Like, I mean, I would see it in, like, movies when they're going to the drive-in. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, a playground there and concession stand. It's just...
they got those little speakers that you, like, pull off the pole and bring it into your car.
Yeah. I still see people doing, like, drive-in, like, style stuff now.
Like what?
Like with this whole COVID stuff, like, people are, like, going to concerts and they're, like, staying in their cars and...
No shit.
Dave Chappelle did, like,
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Like a concert in a cornfield and had everybody, like, distant, but kind of sounds like that, too, where you're outside watching something.
Dude.
I don't know, it was just, maybe the area's alright, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't good business. At some point I had heard they were going to try to bring it back, a drive-in theater here, just because of COVID. Yeah, it might work.
I don't know, man. Just talking about this and mentioning COVID, like I can't imagine how many businesses are just on the brink, or how many have already just gone down. Like the business has changed. Like there's some businesses that are being called essential and some that aren't, and some that are just being told, hey, you have to close your doors. Kind of like a bar that doesn't serve food. If they serve food, they can stay open. If they just serve alcohol, they're shut down. So this is a strange fucking time. This is a year when a lot of shit's gonna just die and not exist anymore. And I guess that's the whole point of this episode. I guess I wasn't trying to be a letdown or something that's like a bummer. I think I was sticking more in nostalgia. Yeah. Like, man, we're not gonna be able to go swimming no more at Justin's. Like, we're not gonna be able to take the kids and let them drive a car that's on a rail. Like, we might not have nightfall again. There'll be no more haunted houses out there. But I don't know about that. I think if they were smart and they still wanted to make some money, they should keep doing that at least.
Yeah.
But who knows? You know, another business that doesn't exist, like it's still alive, but it's different now. Is Bookman's. Bookman's over on Grant and Campbell. They tore that fucker down, and like that's a place I went all the time. Like,
yeah,
I was signed up as a Bookman birthday club or something, and every year they'd send me $5. I think it was either $5 or $10, and I'd take it and buy like comic books and movies and games, and that's just gone. Like that, I think they still have 2 locations now.
Yeah.
But the original, like the very first one I ever remember, is gone, man. They got a really beautiful painting there now, but it's just not Bookman's.
Man. Well, I remember there was a theater that it changed names so many times, but because it was like right next door to where my grandma's apartment was, we would just walk over there and watch movies.
Hell yeah. Where was that?
This was on Valencia.
Valencia?
Yeah, more on... That was I think it was a church, and they turned it into like a rock church.
Are you talking about AMC?
Yeah, well, it was AMC at some points.
Damn, I used to go to that all the time. Wasn't it like a $2 theater?
Yeah. No, I mean it was a hype. It went from like, where they show the new movies versus to showing the old movies, and but yeah, there was a point where it was pretty. And then I think that too, like, what you were paying to go to the movies was, well, again, we talk about not really knowing what we were paying to get into the movies back in the day, but like now it's like we spend more at the concession stand than we do on the ticket, which the ticket is already pretty high.
Yeah. Shit, I can't help but spend like $30 at the concession stands these days.
Yeah.
And like really why? Like why have they soared so high? Like I remember you used to be able to get a $1 popcorn and tickets were like $2. Like I understand having to keep the lights on, keep your employees paid, but it just seems like they're taking advantage now. They realized they could raise the price as much as they fucking want, and now they're doing it.
Mm.
They just ran with it.
I mean, it's a nice setting.
Yeah. Have you been to a theater since they've opened back up?
No, I haven't.
Jeez.
I'm trying to think the last movie I saw. It's been a minute.
We saw that Midsummer.
Midsummer.
It's kind of like a weird, trippy, like one of those kind of freak out, like indie films. Midsummer. It's like these guys, they go to like a kind of separatist, I want to say Swedish or Scandinavian, like tribe of people, and they're like white folks, and they're kind of living this like traditionalist. I don't know how to describe it, but it's fucking brutal as fuck. And they have like a season when they invite outsiders. It's not even spelled like summer. It's like Somar, SOMAR. Midsummer. Midsummer. It's on. If anybody wants to watch it, it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. If you got Amazon Prime, it's on there. If you haven't seen it, it's one of those movies where you might be able to watch it once a year. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's good to watch, but you don't really. It's so fucked up. You don't want to watch it any more than once a year. You know, like it's like we'll put that one in the bank for a while, and then we'll take it out a little later. It's like such a hard trip. You gotta kind of put it away. You gotta put it down for a little bit.
All right.
Like in a year, I could probably watch Terminator, 2-3 times. Still, to this fucking day, it still holds water.
Mm-hmm.
But then try to get me to watch Fear and Loathing, or I'm trying to think of other examples of like some really fucked up movies like that. That you don't really have to watch all that many times. Like that, I don't know. Have you seen the movie Very Bad Things?
I don't think so.
It's a bunch of pretty famous ass actors. They go to. I mean, they're not playing actors. I'm just saying, like the cast is big time, and they go to Vegas to party really hard. It's like a bachelor party, and it just goes down south quick. It doesn't seem like one of those movies, but it just gets fucked up. That's a movie. When you watch a movie that's that fucked up, it's like, oh, all right, I just experienced that, and now I need to put it away before I get overwhelmed.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, that was one of the last movies I watched in theater. One of them. I think I also watched Infinity War. The Avengers, the Avengers Infinity War. I think I saw that too. And that's it, brother. I haven't been back. I started thinking, man, in the middle of all this COVID shit, I kind of wonder if the movie theater industry is gonna be able to keep holding water. Like you talk to people, and almost everybody has a Netflix account. Almost everybody has a Prime account. It's a bunch of Hulu accounts out there, and they're all providing movies. And if you pay a fee, there's no commercials, or there's maybe a few, but like it doesn't break the movie up. And I mean, they're providing us movies in home where I'm not paying fucking $30 for a fucking box of popcorn and maybe a couple drinks and a hot dog. Like, all that shit, you can eat all that at home, and you already have it in your house, and then you get to watch your show, and as long as you got a decent TV and some speakers, like, fuck. I'm wondering if this whole shit might kill the movie industry. What's funny is the movie industry's they're kind of late in the game. Like I don't know what it's called, that Avi. It's during the COVID, they kind of made their own video channel, so all the new release movies were being funneled through this online account thing that isn't Netflix, it's not Amazon Prime, it's not Hulu. It's something that the movie theaters are maybe hot. Whoa. Bless you, brother.
Thank you.
It's something that the movie theaters and maybe Hollywood thought they could pull off to get people to still pay top dollar for new movies as they come out during this whole COVID shit, and I just can't imagine. I had absolutely no interest in buying them, except to maybe watch that new movie with Tom Hanks and I think it was a battleship and submarines. I wanted to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on that fucking channel. I don't know what it's called. It's like Audi or Avi or some shit like that. Abi? Voodoo. Vidu? Doesn't matter. I don't know.
So, what do we get out of going to the movies?
I think it's the big screen, the fucking theaters, and it's really good fucking popcorn.
So the snacks,
And hopefully a decent fucking chair, because some of those chairs are goddamn uncomfortable.
So,
but that's my point. Is there the whole theater industry could die with this? Like, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like that would be an impossibility, but nobody's going. There's this whole fear-mongering thing going on right now where people are afraid to go out and be in an enclosed room with people. And I think it's the big screen, the speakers, and maybe the food, like hot food with sodas. But like I said, you can have that at home, and as long as you got fucking Prime or Netflix or whatever, like you're set. And if you got a decent system at home, what is the draw? I mean the whole.
That's what I mean.
The whole industry is centered around new releases, right? A movie gets made in Hollywood, they put it out, and then you go to the theater to watch it.
Well, that's how they're able to sell you a movie at a certain price. You know, after a movie hits that point where it's been out a while, so I don't really want to pay that.
Yeah.
You might go.
Or you say I'll wait until the DVD comes out, which doesn't really exist anymore either. I'll wait for the Blu-ray.
Kinda. But if they were showing something else at a theater that had my interest, maybe I would want to still go there. It wouldn't have to be a movie that just came out, but I don't know, I think of Star Wars when new ones come out and everyone lines up to.
Yeah, the people come. They make a good movie, the people will come.
Yeah, but you talk about like Justin's Waterworld, like, it brings everybody comes out, but I don't know if that still translates to, like, having an account with some platform and you're getting to watch, or that's your ticket.
Yeah, and you're willing to pay the price.
Yeah,
like I think money, the availability of money, really shapes what stays and what doesn't. And quality, like a cassette tape, you always had to work on rewinding it and fucking, maintaining it, keeping it from being dusty, and it's fucking falling apart, and the tape gets eaten every now and then. That is it's a bygone fucking technology. Got replaced. You came up with CDs and mini discs, and the mini disc went aside. But I really think it's only because there's more money in CDs that get scratched and you have to replace them. You know what I mean? It gets so fucked up you can't even listen to it. If we had mini discs, they would have lasted for fucking ever. But there's no money in something that lasts forever. So I'm always tripping out on how many times that happens. We as a country, as a people, or maybe the industry that's producing it, maybe not the people, like we're getting what we get. Like, beggars can't be choosers. If we were making our own technology and it was at a high level like the industry is at, maybe we wouldn't need the fucking industry, but we are dependent on them. And they decide, all right, what do we want to produce that the people want, but continues to make us money? So it's like, all right, they went with DVD or CD versus a fucking cassette tape. They went with DVD, CD versus a mini disc, and the mini disc would not make them money because it would last for fucking ever. So now, do you know anybody that owns a mini disc now? No, we had DVD players. And now that everything's digital, we were using our phones and not CDs. Like I found an old, like I was going through my old shit. I found a pack of CDs. It was like my old CD case, full of CDs, and I just looked at it like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? If I wanted to use, if I wanted to use this at all, I'd have to go find some place that still sells CD players. And even then, it would come nowhere near having, a digital copy on my phone. You know what I mean? Like we got iPods and our phones, like they hold all these thousands, like even in that CD case, I was limited to maybe 25 discs, maybe 20. And of those 20 songs, say each of them had 10 on there. That's 200 songs. But with my phone, I have access to the World Wide Web, and I can listen to anything at any time I want. Now, me and you have had this conversation before. If our phone system suddenly went down, we wouldn't have that shit. It'd be fucking gone. So, like, I was talking with my mom the other day when we were talking about stuff going away. I was telling her, at the same time, say we make all our books digital. We no longer produce magazines. We no longer produce newspapers. We no longer produce books. Say our technology goes down. Like, we're a country that's heavily invested in technology. Say that shit goes away, we're going to lose all of that. And if we go too far, if we get way ahead of ourselves and we fool ourselves into thinking that technology will always be here, we could lose a lot. Like knowledge could fucking disappear. And I'm sure plenty already has. Like skills. A lot of kids today don't know how to change a tire. Oh, we'll just take it to a shop. I don't have to learn this. Fire making skills. It seems dumb. Oh, you gotta know how to make a fire. I went to California a while back, maybe a couple years ago, and there was this big party going on next door, and they were throwing lighter fluid and all this shit on this fire. Or no, they were making a big pile of wood, and then they came over to us because we had a fire going, and they're like, "Hey, you got any lighter fluid?" And I was like, "Nah, dude, I don't need any lighter fluid." And they're like, "Well, how'd you get your fire going?" And I was like, "A match and some newspaper." And they're like, and he's like, "Whoa, bro, what are you, some kind of fucking firebender, bro?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Have you guys, all these beach bums, have you guys completely forgot how to make a fire?" Like, I had a lighter, and I had just enough fire skills of my own to be able to turn that into a big ass roaring bonfire. But these people down the way, if they didn't have lighter fluid, they didn't have a fire. So as a heavily invested country or society invested in technology, I kind of worry for us if we're overextending ourselves to a point where there may be no return.
Wow.
Like, I mean, what if paper books, hard copy books, became just collector items? What if the only people that had books were collectors? Where will we be? I mean, there's human civilization in these books, and if we just lost all our digital copies of it someday, like just all together at once, if it just all went away, no recovery, just gone. I think I keep saying this. It'll be pure chaos. You know what I'm saying? Are you with me?
I'm with you. I'm just trying to find my place in it all, because all this comes up in previous conversations about our relationship to technology, but then kind of also
Yeah, we're
it's like surviving in the world.
Yeah.
And, you know, having... I hate to use the word primal, but, like, you know, survival skills, like being able to do stuff like that if you needed to do it, but maybe we're so sheltered or one-track minded that we go a route to where we don't need to learn certain things, or those things were never were an issue, so they weren't needing to be taught.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's taken care of. Or is no longer necessary. Like, not everybody hunts because you can go down the road and get a fucking cheeseburger.
Yeah. But I'm trying to I guess, like, with even in science, like, the jobs in science, like, it's not always glamorous where you're, you know, looking at a microscope and
hi, boy.
Sometimes science is like collecting data and looking at charts. I don't know, just some of the skills that you do know that are involved with technology, maybe they are obsolete when you take away the computer, or none of that even matters in what you're trying to do. Yeah. But then, doesn't mean I don't think it's.
Don't kick the virus, boy.
Where it's like totally like neglected knowledge, like, oh, I just learned all that computer skills and now we don't have computers. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some way you can not fully salvage and translate it, but like, I don't know. But sometimes I feel like that, where I need to be outside versus I want to stay inside.
Well, I got 2 points here. So I think a lot of us are hey, no, go out. If you're gonna be making noise, you can't stay here, boy. Alright, so I got an example here. Like I think sometimes we kind of underestimate our dependence. Like you know, out on the res, like every now and then we get a really nasty storm, the power will go out. It'll go out for like a half hour, maybe an hour, sometimes a couple hours when it's really bad.
Oh yeah.
Those times, I kind of surprised myself. Like one time it went out like all evening and into the night, and I was sitting there and I was watching TV when the power went out. I was sitting there watching my movies, enjoying myself. The fucking power went out, and I was sitting there, and it kept trying to come back on, and then it just went off. And I was sitting there, I was just staring at the TV, like, all right, sooner or later this bitch is coming back on, so I'll just sit here. And I sat there, and I think maybe a half hour passed, maybe 45 minutes, and I was like, fuck, it's actually off. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? And I was like, fuck it, I'll just go play the Xbox. You know, I was like, I'll just go play the game. And I stood up and went in the room, and I was like, fuck. There's no power for the Xbox. There's no power for the TV. What the fuck am I going to do with myself? Am I going to read a book? I'm going to sit down and read a book. Like, it was like, I was so dependent. I was like, that's okay. The power's off. I'll just go play the Xbox. You know what I mean? It wasn't completely clear to me until I tried to go play that and realized that bitch isn't turning on. You know, there's absolutely no power available for that. So, like, and you think about the times where you're hanging out, you got your cell phone. Say you go out and party, or you like say you came over to my house and we're hanging out, and then suddenly your phone died. Say we didn't have a charger that matches your phone. You're just fucking sitting there with a dead phone, and it kind of makes you nervous, doesn't it? Like, oh, somebody might call, or hey, I might need a call for a ride.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't totally panic because it's like, it's all right. I can still charge it when I get home. You know what I mean? Like, you'll still get home, you'll still find your way home, you'll still sleep okay. You can live without your phone for a little bit. But, or like, say when you crack your screen to the point that you can't even use it anymore. How does that feel? You just keep picking up your phone and looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
That's gone now. Like, oh, like there's this. I think a bunch of us. I'm not saying everybody. I'm sure there's a ton of people out there like, oh, they're totally aware of it. But like, let's say preppers, all right. But I think people in general don't realize how dependent we are on technology.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
You know, like, fuck, we will be screwed if that shit goes down. Like, I wanted to ask you this. My big thing is, what if the sun flares up and sends an EMP our way? Say you're sitting in coalfields, the EMP hits, you no longer have cell phones, you no longer have computers, and your car won't start. And you're 30 miles from cells where the food's at. So you got the supplies in your pantry. You got what's left in your fridge, and as long as you don't keep opening your fridge, that might last a while. Your freezer might stay frozen a little while. Say you make it through the first week, no problem. But what do you do when your fucking food runs out? What would you do? I'm seriously asking you straight up. What would you do?
I mean, are all the cars out?
Yeah.
I can't borrow a ride or hitchhike.
Anything that runs off electronics is gone. So a lot of our cars today, like if there was an old ass budgie car, you might be able to get that fucker to start and run. But like if you got any kind of modern car with a computer in it that runs everything, that shit's gone. Your phone is gone. Unless you have a landline, it's gone. Now what's really fucking scary beyond that, like I guess this is beyond the Bygone Era stuff, but I'm saying like say the water stopped running. It's an entirely different system, but say we no longer have water coming out of your sink. And it's most definitely no longer coming out of your toilet. What do you do? I mean, for one thing, you're going outside to take a shit.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, you find a good far away place. Maybe
I
was gonna say maybe build yourself an outhouse. You're good there. And if you had to, you could wipe your ass with your hand. You don't need toilet paper like everybody fucking panicked and did. You really don't need it. People don't want to think about that, but you don't need toilet paper. But you be some stinky motherfuckers, you know? There'd be all kinds of... I think sanitation is like the basis for civilization. If you can get rid of people's trash, if you can flush your shit and you can wash your body, disease goes way down, Sickness goes way down, like life expectancy goes up. But if you lose all that, shit's gonna change. Like right now, we started this talking about stuff going away. Like, all right, there's no longer a Tucson Studios. I'll hurt about it. I'll feel bad about it, but I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm getting at. I guess this is really the subject I want to talk about a lot right now.
Kind of like doomsday.
Yeah. I guess that'll have to be another episode, right?
I mean, well, we talk about being dependent and then the bygone, those places we depended, kind of, maybe we wanted to depend on, but we can't now because we're...
Yeah, like I know what I'm doing Halloween night. I'm going to Nightfall. Now what? I mean, that's simple.
Well, but then we're talking about kind of having to take a step back and maybe figure out what's not available versus what do you need to survive.
Yeah.
A lot of those technology skills could have been skills for survival.
Yeah.
But then I think I like cursive. You know, at one point in time, the education system thought cursive was something kids needed to know.
Yeah, they had to. Art and art and music. Physical education, there was a lot more emphasis on that before. Home ec. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like home. What was home ec for? It was like home economy. What was it? Home.
Home economics.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was home economics.
But I don't know. Like, are we talking about being self-sufficient? Are we talking about being able to
he's gone.
hone a good skill or craft in all types of settings?
Yeah. Well, that's really, like, it sounds crazy, but that's really why I like doing as many things as I can. It's like I'm a skill collector. I learn what I can for I don't know. I guess I do it to be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down the road, if I don't know if I do it in preparation of a relationship in a family. I kind of feel like it's in there. Like,
yeah, probably.
Like in my future home with my family, I want to be skilled and able. I want to be able and skilled. And I want to be independent.
Yeah.
And right now, if things just keep going the way they're going and they get better, or we keep advancing, as long as there's like forward progress and it just keeps going, we're gonna be fine. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't have a job, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's people in your life, you can go to them. There's running water everywhere. There's sanitation. I just hope that we don't invest so much that we forget the basic stuff that we all need. I'm saying, G Money?
Yeah, I think that goes back to falls back on you, bro. Because you're the parent raising these new kids that are.
Hey, dude.
Having to.
You may not have a kid, but you're raising kids too.
Well, I mean, having to kind of maneuver through that, to what we're going through, but then still taking on what's coming, like now, in the moment, like this conflict of. I don't want to say that like one skill is better than another skill, or because this skill is associated with being in that area that it's not as valid as another skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there's a set of basic skills that should be common with everybody. Mm-hmm. And then you can start talking about any other skill. Like I feel like our ability to find water and food are paramount. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, in order to survive, we need water, food, and shelter. Now, right now, a lot of that shit's taken care of. We got parents that have homes already. You have a home. I have a home. I've got 3 homes I can go to right now. Maybe 4 if I include my sister's house out there in Santa. But like, I got places to go. If I just suddenly like threw my fucking life away, I'd still be okay. If I didn't have a job, I'd be okay. I've got land. I can go there and just do that. But say they weren't feeding me, and say there was no water, I can admit I'd be struggling. There'd be some struggle there. Like I would work it out because that's just what I do. But there would be a long, hard learning curve. Mm-hmm. Where, we'd all have to start at zero at some point. Like, and I'm hoping like if I think about what you're doing with those kids, you're there teaching them basketball. But as a side result, you're also teaching them about wins and losses. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them, and if these little people who are eventually going to be the adults running the show, if they don't realize that there are shit days out there, and then don't know how to deal with it, like there probably have been some hard losses where you guys absolutely thought you would win, and then you did it. There's got to be some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
In your experience with the kids, and they take it hard. And if you don't talk to them, if you just go, oh, yeah, tough break, kids, and then walk away, I'm going to drop you guys off now, you never say another word to them, then that's a lost opportunity for them to start, for you to teach them how to handle it, how to handle themselves. And I'm sure you've had to give speeches as their coach, as their guardian when they're with you. Hi, boy. There had to be moments where you had to say, okay, guys, this shit was tough, but we got to train harder and come back even tougher next year or the next game. And if they don't learn that, if our children don't learn those types of skills, like there's physical skills, there's technical skills, and then there's just behavioral, emotional skills that I think you're teaching these kids. Like as if you're a father, you're their coach, but you're teaching them, hey, yeah, tough break, guys. This shit sucked. I wanted us to win. We almost got that win, but we just didn't quite pull it off together. We didn't quite be teamwork enough. We didn't do it. But tomorrow's another day. Next week there's another game. Or I'll see you guys at practice, and we're gonna work on this. You got, there's no, this is the end of the road. Hey, we lost. We're dismantling the team. Doesn't exist anymore because we can only have wins. That would be a shit, lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, let's dismantle the team. Oh, you guys lost? Well, fuck you guys. It's done. It's over. But instead, you go, all right, guys, look, we're gonna come back. We know now that we came up against this other team, they had certain skills that we weren't prepared for. So we're gonna go back to the drawing board and come back and do better, be better. And I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just saying, like, that's part of the basic skill that I'm gonna have to teach my son, that you're already teaching your kids. It's like your team, your kids.
Yeah.
And fuck, I seriously don't know where I was going with that. I'm just saying, we were talking about skills, and I'm saying basic skills.
One of my favorite coaches used to say to us, he had this hand motion, but he would just be like squash it, and he would kind of just like pound on his hand and like smash something.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like you might have had a bump on the road, but he squashed it, and it was like we're starting fresh.
Yeah, I like that.
So I always say, like, it's not the end of the world, and we got other games coming up. So
yeah,
it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenging.
Yeah.
And if you take away something from this loss, you still got something from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a wasted experience.
Yeah.
Even if it's a loss, you take what you can from it and make it a learning experience.
And apply it forward.
Yes. Shit. If you think about skills in general, that right there, what you just talked about, that is the most basic of all skills that we all need. Is to go, hey, there's the next one, on to the next one. This was fucked up, and we're gonna work on it. And I think the work on it, the come back and practice, the come back and let's. But I think we're describing two skills. One is letting go, and the other is not giving up. Like learning. Maybe that's three skills. Letting go, learning from it, and then moving forward. Because I guess you could learn it and then just go, okay, I'm going to sit down and I know all this stuff. And then you don't do anything with it. Maybe that's just a waste right there. So maybe it's three skills that you just taught right there. It's all right. You gotta let go of the game we just lost. We gotta learn from it. What do we do wrong? What can we do about it? And then let's move on to the next game, or the next season, the next practice.
Yeah.
Like if we really cut down all our human experience to the basics, I think that is the basis of all of it. It's what you got to use to do anything in this world. I think, huh?
No, that's
No one there right now.
I don't know, because maybe we get caught up in being a norm to where we don't appreciate our skills that we're sharpening, to where it's like, well, now that I got all these skills, now how can I go to a higher level? It's almost like I know these skills well enough to just keep me in a routine, but
yeah,
I think we're talking about also kind of trying to extend our skills as well, to where it takes us to different areas we maybe didn't plan on or imagine. But yeah, I was just like, we're talking about knowing these skills or being able to, I guess it's being confident with saying you know something. And I think maybe that's what we struggle with, is our self-esteem and, like, you know, what we qualify to telling somebody we're capable of doing. I don't know if I'm hitting on anything, but yeah, it just seems like we're very, I mean, at least in this world where we're like, yeah, some jobs require you gotta have a degree.
Yeah.
There are some jobs that, you know, you gotta have a certain license, you know, you gotta have the paperwork in order to get the job to do the certain skill. But there are some people that know the skill that can do the job, but they just don't have the credentials.
Yeah.
So how does one like hone that confidence of being able to do the job regardless of knowing they don't need the credentials, but they can still do the skill and the job?
Yeah.
But are we? I don't know if we're there yet. I mean, maybe some of us are, but just sometimes it seems challenging or hesitation to, like, you know, want to venture off and try something new, or even picking up a skill that you hope is going to bring value.
Yeah.
Like learning a skill and being like, why did I learn this? Because I'm never going to need it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like that now with education with kids now. I'm like, because, you know, sometimes we get them to do like this high math or high science, and they might not even need that math or science in their career, or maybe they will. It's just sometimes it seems like it's a hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because the skills they really needed to learn weren't the ones that they were teaching in school.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
yeah, I guess maybe the way we conceive or think about school, I mean, not school skills, you know, where, you know, maybe we don't got to categorize them so hardly, and so to where you just have that, what we talked about, that certain information, you know, pretty much can pick up anything and figure it out. Well, they say that, like, isn't it like 10,000 hours or like?
Yeah, to master a skill or something like that?
With anything, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do we explain that in an easy way to where it's like, oh, now I have the confidence. And a lot of it sounds like confidence and self-esteem to where it's like, you know, now I can learn painting, or now I can, I don't know. It becomes more about what do I need to learn, or what do I want to learn, or what do I want to spend my time knowing.
Yeah.
Dad, you want my hand? You want my hand? You.
Well, when you're talking about school like that, there's a fucking ton of math that I learned, and I haven't used it one fucking bit outside of school. Not one fucking bit. And the funny thing is, like, if I had gone into a career in, let's say medicine, let's say science, or even, let's say, like I did calculus.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about learning any fucking math is, like, you're never really quite applying it. You're learning the rules of it, and then you... Whoa, what is that? Whoa.
Sorry.
You alright, man? Damn, that sounded painful.
No, that was eating a pistachio.
Oh. Alright, well, you okay?
Yeah. So what, you're talking about learning rules?
Well, I'm saying most math, most classes in general, not just math, like, we're learning the rules.
Mm.
We're learning the basis, the very basics, and I think that's kind of funny about, like, people with, like, a general education skill, like bachelor's degrees. That, like, if you, like, yes, it takes all this time to get it. Yes, you learn all these different venues in education, but really, if you get down to it, they're teaching you the basics. And the only way to take that to another level is to keep going higher and higher. And then when it becomes higher and higher, then it starts to apply. Then they start taking the same skills that you hope to God you learned in the earlier stages. You take these baby step skills and you take them and you start to apply them. And I think that's what the whole higher education system is like, it's like taking a child that doesn't know shit, and I'm sorry, I'm saying straight out of high school, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You got the very, 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 very basic skills. Then you go into college, you get your bachelor skills, which are, okay, you know enough to learn based on your bitch-ass math skills, your bitch-ass English skills, and then we're going to take you from there and teach you how to write a proper paper. We're going to teach you from there and teach you how to communicate your information to the next guy. And it's like, all right, you got your bitch-ass growth and information from high school. And I'm saying basic as fuck. A lot of people have trouble going beyond that. But really, if you really cut away all the bullshit, that's the simplest basic skills that everybody needs to buy their groceries, to spend their money, you know, to fucking learn how many fucking gumdrops are in the fucking basket. It's the basic skills to live your life. Then, if you actually want to do something with it, then you got to go to college and learn a skill that takes those basics and turns it into what you're going to do. The actual act of doing something. But even at the college level, it's still, if you really get down to it, the basics. And like all those people who do extraordinary things like Elon Musk or NASA, those guys are not in their basics. They've taken the basic skills and they went way beyond it and said, okay, now I've learned the rules. Now I'm going to take this stuff and start applying it to real life applications like sending a rocket into space, that's where math and science finally start paying off. Because if you don't go that far, if you don't take your education that far, then you are really just learning the skeleton basic skills of anything. Whatever route you went in college, it's like, all right, you've learned your living skills in high school, your way to operate in society without appearing to be a fucking dumbass. And then you go to college and you learn the rules of the next step. If you want to do anything beyond just living, you got to go and learn a little bit more to start to do stuff with it. And then when you go beyond that, that's when you start applying it and using all this shit. And my point is, I learned all these hardcore calculus, math. I got all these math skills, and I never did anything with them because I didn't go to the point where you got to start applying them. And you start producing stuff. You start doing the NASA stuff. You start doing the car building stuff. You start doing computer stuff. You start affecting the environment as a biologist. You start saving animal lives or human life or whatever. Like, a lot of us don't realize that. Like, we're satisfied with just the basics. And I don't know what my point is. I'm just saying, like there's a ton of math I learned, and it was for nothing. I'll probably never use it again unless I go to that next level where you actually start applying it. And I think a lot of us in general just have the basic skills of living. And where does that put us? What do we take from that?
Maybe it's the amount of people versus you being by yourself.
Yeah. Are you saying collaboration?
No, like if you're among other people that have other skills, it might be where you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah.
Having those relationships where, that bond is there, where you might not be a hunter, but, you might know how to make metal or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you might know how to make a bow.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it almost kind of goes down to like what kind of lifestyle you want to be living.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing wrong with wanting to be by yourself, but it just seems like on your own you kind of got to master more tricks, or you got to know more skills. I don't know. I'm just because I can see myself like say none of that stuff happened that you talked about, like technology just going like this, and this scenario is thriving, and I'll never. I don't know. Like maybe it will come to the point where I won't, need to drive. We talked about this too, where there are times where I just want to be the passenger, but that doesn't mean I don't want to go nowhere. So, like, that would be pretty awesome just to be, like, to be able to go everywhere, but not have to actually be the one driving. I think that's awesome, but I don't know if I earned that right to be like, hey, I can do that, or I don't know. It just almost, what if your value as a person went off of how many skills you knew?
Yeah.
I don't know, but then I think of like artists, like who almost got to be more creative. Not creative, but like you could be an artist, but you could be a starving one because you don't know how to sell your art or market it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you could be an artist that knows how to do all that, you know, hustling and you know how to sell. I mean, like pretty much business skills. But I don't know if being an artist is a skill. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is because there's stuff you can do with art that require you to, you know, use your hands, but I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I got some examples, and I think it's going along exactly what you're saying. So check it out. Bill Burr, you know, the comedian. He had this whole joke about not knowing what ashy meant, and then he's chilling with his black girlfriend, and she's like, "You're ashy as fuck. You need some lotion." He's like, "Lotion? What the fuck are you talking about?" She scratches his skin, and like all these flakes start coming off. He didn't know what the fuck ashy meant. He's just an ashy motherfucker that didn't know why he always itched in the winter. So then he went on to say in the joke, he's like, look, we all need to spend time with everybody because we only know our piece of the puzzle. We don't know these other skills that this other group of people knew. So there was that. And then I go back to when we were talking about space travel and all that, and I say we're not ready because we're not willing to work with each other. So going off of that, and what you were saying, like really what you were saying about the starving artists, I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking that we all need each other's. That not one man is an island, you know, like there's no one person that has everything. And to think you do is delusional. So like what we were talking about, the hunter and the bow. One guy may be a fantastic bow maker, you know? He's the best bow maker in the world. But motherfucker doesn't know how to hunt. And then he stands to another guy next to him. This guy or girl, all right, let's not lose face here, or girl, let's say this person is the best hunter, but he doesn't know how to fucking make a bow. But if you give him a bow, he can fucking take that bow and hunt like a motherfucker and catch every single thing he shoots at. These two men are kind of worthless apart. There's the bow maker who can't hunt or feed himself, and then there's the hunter who can't make a bow, so without a bow he can't hunt. But you put them together, and you got a bow made for a man that can hunt, and now the both of them eat good together. All right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
All right. So I was watching a documentary about the idea of it's Elon Musk. He's testing all these rockets. He's talking about colonizing Mars. And my whole thing, like I was thinking about this other documentary about Chernobyl and how the shit blew up. Nobody knew what to do about it, and they had to develop a plan to go and dig and like clear out this whole thing underneath it so that they could make it safe again. And it's not safe. It's still to this day fucking toxic as fuck. But all these scientists were like, oh, what are we going to do? What can we do? We need somebody to do this. But they couldn't do it themselves. So they had to go get all these miners out of another country to come through and do the mining work. Now, on the same level, these scientists are like, oh, we're lofty, la-di-da motherfuckers, but they couldn't pick up a shovel and dig a hole for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to go get all these miners who, you know, they put their fucking life on the line to save maybe the world. Maybe just Russia, you know, or wherever the hell it is. Ukraine, I think it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But they had to go and get these miners. And all these miners, they were just fucking blue-collar dudes that, you know, I'm sure any other day these scientists will look at them and just, you know, fuck these people. They're beneath me. But these guys, the scientists, couldn't dig a damn hole. They didn't have the skills. They could talk about it. They could probably even design it on paper, but they couldn't do the digging. So they went and got these miners who they see as blue-collar lowlifes, but they're actually the Mars-skilled hole diggers. They're the miners. And they were the top-notch of the hole digging. So they brought them over, and these motherfuckers put their life on the line to dig this tunnel that had to be done. So I was watching this documentary about them colonizing Mars, and all I could think was, like, what kind of people are going to be the people that they send to Mars? Probably going to be scientists, probably going to be astronauts. But how many of those motherfuckers can do the type of digging? Like, the surface of Mars is deadly. There's no oxygen. There's constant, like, skin-ripping winds. If anybody's going to live there, they're probably going to have to go underground. And do you think these astronauts are going to do that hard lifting work? No. Because they're scientists. They're designers. They're mathematicians. They're, you know, biologists. They're going to be able to cover what they know. But you can't just send astronauts to Mars. You also got to send us low-life miners up there. We need to fucking send everybody. And to try to do it alone, just scientists, just that, it's going to be a complete failure. And there's going to be a loss of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think collaboration, which I think you were trying to hit on the point there, was we can't do it alone. We all need each other. And, like, one dude cannot stand alone. One woman, whatever, one person cannot do it all. They cannot, like the president. All right? They're the master of the free world. They're the leader, you know, the master general, the top general. But he can't do it without the lowly soldier to go out and fight his war for him. Like, so, I know this is all way off topic. We've gone way far into the deep end. I think what my ultimate point is, which I think I'll continue to keep bringing up, is we all need each other.
Oh, yeah.
In doing everything. You want to save the world? You want to clean it up? We need everybody. We can't just be Americans. We need the Australians. We need the Russians. We need everybody. The Africans. We need everybody to come together to pull off anything. We can't do it alone. And as long as we're doing it alone, going it alone, we're going to just scratch the surface. And nothing will ever get done. And it kind of fucking sickens me when, like, we're waging war, or maybe some group is killing, like, causing genocide and just killing all these people. It's like, bitch, you're going out saying these people are the problem and we're going to get rid of them and we're going to prosper without them. And I think it's foolish to think anything beyond, hey, we need each other. All of us. We're all pieces of the puzzle, and if we could just come together, God damn it, we'd be way better off. You want to clean up the earth? You need everybody, because we can't be all over the planet at one point, at one time. We need everybody to join in and fucking clean the planet. And if we're going to Mars, we need to take everybody. We can't just send scientists. We need miners. We need fucking nurses and doctors. We need everybody.
Wow.
We need people to bone. You know, we need kids. We need more children up there. Like, if we're going to take any kind of venture serious, we need each other's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, G Money?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, not to bring up the coaching thing, but another thing to, I remember I heard someone tell me, but it was like talent's only gonna get you halfway.
Yeah.
There's 4 quarters, and the rest is pretty much your character.
Yeah.
And we talk about, and I hate to say that too, because that's kind of generalizing the character of what you're saying, like a scientist versus a miner, where a miner might know how to actually cover ground in Mars, versus a biologist that that just knows the rules. So
yeah,
it's I mean, it's like conquering. Are we talking about like conquering Mars, or are we talking about like being a better person because you're confident with the skills you have?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess what would you if you were like, hey, transfer me to Mars? What would your job be, or like, what would you feel put me in that area where I want to work in the hospital. Well,
I think my current physical ability, I have no wind, I'm weak, I'm fat. I have the skills, I know how to dig a fucking hole, but if I went up there right now, I'd have to rely on my brain. I'd be a planner or maybe a leader, but I wouldn't be the hole digger. And I think I think people look down on the hole digger, but who the fuck else is gonna do it? That's like all this immigration problems. Everybody's like, oh, they took our jobs. Like, we need the Mexicans. Our entire fucking agricultural shit would collapse without some hard-working, hard-knocking Mexicans out there doing shit that nobody else wants to do. I saw this documentary once. I think it was a Vice News thing.
Yeah.
And it was like the immigration started hitting hard, like ICE. Hey, shh. And they were following immigration. And the ICE people, I can't remember what it's called. Immigration. I don't know what ICE stands for. I should know it, but I don't. But like they followed an ICE state, and what they were doing was hitting all these factories and agricultural farms.
Yeah.
And they were taking all the workers. They were deporting all the Mexicans. And all these fucking farms just started failing. They're like, fuck, man, we need our Mexicans back. And they're like, well, you don't have them, so replace them with somebody else. And they're like, okay, let's get the white people to do it. Let's get the local white people to do it. And the white people were like, hey, you're not paying me enough to do this heavy-ass hard work. So they'd be out there, but they'd be bitching the whole time. They didn't work hard enough for it. They're like, you're not paying me enough to work hard, so I'm not going to work hard. So they failed. And then they're like, okay, let's get criminals. Let's get people in prison. Let's take prisoners and make them the laborers. So they took the prisoners and put them out in the farms. And the prisoners were just happy to be out. They just started dicking around. They're like, fuck yeah, we're fucking out. And they just started enjoying themselves, and they weren't working hard. So it's like, okay, you guys want to get rid of all these hard-working ass Mexican people because supposedly they're less than us or they don't belong. And it's like, bitch, without them, your fucking entire agricultural industry is going to collapse. Because what you need is some people who are willing to work their fucking ass off for a low-ass wage. And that doesn't exist without them. But they weren't willing to admit that. They're like, no, they got to go. We got to do what the people want. And it's like, man, the people want their goddamn watermelons. The people want their veggies pulled and quick and keep the shelves full. And like, a lot of people like to act like we're not all dependent on each other. And, like, this whole immigration bullshit is like, get rid of the Mexicans. They're terrible criminals. It's like, hey, some are. But these motherfuckers as a people are hard-working, family-oriented badasses that will fucking work for whatever they got so that they can make ends meet. So it's like, it was hilarious. I was watching the thing, I was laughing. I was like, you fucking dumbasses. You took all these hard-working, good people, you deported them, and then you just watched your industry crumble as a result. And they had to get them back. They're like, okay, well, we better start work. What are you doing? Whatever that is, it's loud as fuck, dude. But whoa. What are you, laying on a foil bed?
No.
Like you're rolling around? It's kind of like Big Daddy with
my bad.
With Adam Sandler, where he's like, "Hey, be still," and the kid keeps flopping on the newspaper.
These pistachios, man.
No, you gotta have them, bro. You gotta have them. I hope you know who picked those goddamn pistachios.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I'm just saying. I'm making a joke.
I know, but you're touching on this, the workforce.
Yeah.
And how how sometimes to do a lot of these jobs, they require not so much skill, but humility. Like, to do a job that maybe doesn't pay the highest, but if you got family you're trying to pay for, or you got family in other countries you're trying to send them money, like it's sort of like, well, these guys, because I hate that phrase too, where they're stealing our jobs. It was like, no, they're taking the jobs that you're not willing to do because maybe your standards are too high, or
you're living comfortably.
Yeah.
You don't need to have 3 jobs to pay your way. You're getting paid. Like a lot of these guys, they're here illegally, right? So they can't get that high-paying job. They have to get whatever they can, and there's your job right there, a low-paying agricultural job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right. So you touched on it. You gotta support your family. This motherfucker keeps opening the damn door.
And then even too, like, you talk about these farms and places where they're growing produce. Like, they know who's gonna work hard, and they know who's gonna do the job. So.
And not bitch. They're not gonna bitch. They're gonna work their ass off because they got people that are depending on them.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just kind of sometimes the American mind frame is sort of like this: gimme.
Yeah.
Because I'm entitled, but then.
Yeah, and it's delusional.
Yeah, for sure.
Just one last thing. One of the best expressions I ever heard, it was like when they do those old school hunts where they release a rabbit and send the hounds. It's like predator versus prey. You think about the mindset. The dog is hunting for food. The rabbit is running for his fucking life. So the rabbit's going to fight harder to survive while the dog's just like, there'll be a meal that comes along. So he's not going to run as hard. He's not going to work his ass out to get that fucking rabbit. But the rabbit, on the other hand, is if I don't run the shit out of my ass, if I don't fucking work as hard as I can, then I'm going to be dead. Or maybe my babies back in the hole are going to be dead. And I think that's the mentality that's going on there. It's like these family-oriented people that everybody wants to talk all this shit about are really focused on feeding their family, and they'll work 3 jobs. They'll fucking break their fucking back to make sure their family's provided for. And to negate that and to belittle that and to fucking go, oh, we don't need them, it's bullshit. It's delusional. It's unrealistic. And I think that's what pisses me off the most about this whole general attack on Mexico and Mexicans. It's like, man, you don't know shit. You don't know the way the world really is. Like there's this whole societal / civilization delusion or image that goes on where it's like, oh, we don't need them. But it's because they're not seeing them pick our vegetables. They're not seeing them work their fucking asses off.
Oh, yeah.
There's this, it's easier to, like the fucking Mexican statue of the dude taking a siesta. They're like, oh, Mexicans are lazy. It's like, fuck you, dude, they're not. But they don't see it. They don't see it. So it's easy to just, wave your hand and go, oh, we don't need them. They shouldn't be here. We don't need them. It's like, no, we all need it. And I'll tell you this, on the other hand, to say the other way, if we didn't have such a high demand for the agriculture, then their job wouldn't exist either. So it's like we're all this big piece of the puzzle that if we keep separating ourselves and pushing each other's away and building our fences, we're never going to fucking make it. We're destined to fail.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, you're... It's almost like... Yeah, there's value in being able to, identify who you're connected with, but then you also... gotta be able to, build, I don't know, those connections. But then, I don't know, does it always feel like there's always going to be that divide?
The way we're going, it seems like, yeah, that's the way it is. Which is fucking sad. It's really depressing. If I ever let myself think about it realistically, it's fucking sad and depressing. But, there's hope. There's always hope. And the hope now is that maybe we fucking woke. There's a whole lot of stupid ass things going on with this whole woke culture.
Yeah.
But the idea behind it is good. It's pure. It's we all need life and liberty. We all need freedom. We all are seeking the same thing, a good life. And that gets forgotten. It gets overlooked. It gets ignored in the light of all this other shit. And as long as we continue to just be a capitalist society, we're never going to see we're never going to make it. If we start going, all right, we're all people, we all need each other, we all can't do it alone, we're going to definitely be better off if we can realize that. And it seems like the culture is shifting that way, where people in general are leading that way. But then you get down to a smaller group like the fucking Senate House, and they're all fucking lining their pockets. They're this small group of people making decisions for the larger group. They're fucking leading us down the rabbit hole into this shit system where they're all trying to make out like bandits and then abandon ship when it all goes down. They're like, I'm gonna fuck as many people over as I can to line my pockets, and then when my shit's over, I'm gonna jump and live well on my own, and that's it. Doesn't matter what happens to the ship that I was just riding. I got pockets full of money. I'm gonna dive off right before it sinks. And I think a lot of people in that house or go into that business, politics, maybe some are doing it for the right reasons. Maybe some are still, even after they get in, are doing it, but not enough of them are. It's like, all right, there's this. I heard an expression where it was like, oh, power corrupts. Or people in politics, people in power are corrupt. And it's like, you know what, maybe power is corrupting. It draws out the type of people that want that power. And it's the corrupt. So I mean, something's wrong. Our system is broken. And as long as the general population doesn't step up and say what they want, like what I love at a comedy show, you got these giant groups of people. You hear what people laugh about and you hear what they cheer about. And when it's the larger group of the people, it's usually something fantastic, like, hey, Mexicans aren't lazy, they're hard workers, and they're good family-oriented people. Then there's the general population out there are cheering it up. They're like, yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
Then why the fuck are we attacking them? Well, the fucking laws are being made and passed this way. They're being blamed for shit up there on Capitol Hill when really the general population, the people in general, don't think that way. Or they know better. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't even know what we're going to call this episode because it's not just the Bygone Era. We're talking about some heavy shit here.
Yeah. Well, it's reshaping your survival skills to.
Yeah.
But then there's also, I mean, we talk about people not coming together because of hatred, but it's almost like we're not we're trying to keep the love alive.
Yeah.
And
all we need is love.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
But then I think it all comes back down to our business minded, like
capitalism.
Yeah, I mean we're not chasing a paycheck to pay our bills, but I imagine what if there was a farm that you could work at and they paid you in food and electricity and you didn't necessarily get a paycheck, but you didn't necessarily have any bills either. I mean, are we so corrupt that we need a check or money to show our validations? Or is the validation even anything much but a distraction because we're showing off skills that maybe we don't really need and we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, or maybe we could be doing something more valuable with our time, but we're so caught up in a system that we're chasing the wrong card I was watching Dave Chappelle the other day, and I was talking about how there was this guy in the park that was doing car flips, and he was hustling people, and that was his way of making his money, and that was the way of him, eating.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, maybe we gotta change our mind frame of how we're getting fed.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes down to getting your needs met. And anybody, like, as humans, I'm not saying any fucking race, I'm saying as humans, if you don't get what you need, you'll do what you have to get it. And there's haves and have-nots, and the haves don't understand it. They look down on the have-nots and go, oh, well, why don't you just do as hard working as I did? It's like, bitch, you had a head start. And it's like, all right, so the reason these people are doing these crimes is because they got to eat too, and their needs are not being met. So it's a really vicious cycle of people just pointing fingers and going, you're wrong and I'm right. And the people who think they're right, they're looking down on the people who they think are wrong, when really they want the same thing. They want to be able to eat. They want to take care of their family. They want to fucking be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to live in a world where shit's fucked up. So it's like you said, like you said, we got to change the way we think, and I think we're on our way to that. It's just we're not there, and I think we're dragging our fucking feet, because there's a lot of people out there that are the haves, and they think they're going to lose what they have to people who are have-nots.
Mm.
So it's they want to keep what they have, and by sharing the wealth, they're thinking of it more as losing than fucking bringing up everybody to the same level and having us survive.
Mm.
I don't know. I think what we're describing is communism. And I don't that didn't work either, So I don't know what to do, but I think ignoring the needs of the people, I think ignoring what the people actually want, and I think continuing the way we're going is a fucking recipe for failure. And until we start reorganizing the way we think, like you said, and until we start figuring out a way that works for all of us, then I think we're eventually just going to decline like any other great society, like the fucking Greeks or the Romans or whatever. Like it's these great empires, they're going to fail. They're going to collapse. And what usually brings about the collapse is the people who don't have are going to rise up and fucking tear it all down. They're like, all right, well, if we can't have it, then nobody can. So anyway, I got to get off the phone, brother. This has been 2.5 hours of ignoring my son. I gotta get out there. I gotta get out there and give him some attention. He's knocking on the door here.
Yeah, no, this is a wild.
Yeah, this has been an interesting talk. I think we've really touched on some major points, and now I don't even know what to call the episode.
The way the world was.
Yeah. Maybe the bygone era even pertains to where we are now.
Yeah,
because we're still not doing it right, and really,
if we look
forward, yeah. So this is we're still doing things the old way. And I think down the road, if we're going to continue to exist, the future is not going to be the bygone era. I think what we're doing currently is the bygone era. We're still carrying on old practices like it's just going to work forever.
Wow.
And I guarantee it won't. I guarantee it. All right. So interesting.
Yeah.
Great talk, brother. Another good episode. Hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know what's going on with you, and I'm looking forward to next week. Think about the next episode.
I will.
All right.
All right, bro.
I'm hitting that big red button, brother. Later, everybody.